We begin part 2 at Lanier Speedway in Georgia for the Big Star Nestle 200, where we will run 60 laps. 29 cars are entered in this race. Chuck Bound is on the pole with Rick Mast starting in second as we go racing in Lanier. Mast was able to pull ahead to take the lead by lap 1. Behind them, it is 3 wide as Brandon Baker, Ronald Cooper, and L.D. Ottinger fight like this for several laps. At a short track, too. Then on lap 8, Elton Sawyer gets into Ronnie Silver, who bounces off the inside wall, then gets into Sam Ard, and Sawyer and many pile in. Rick Mast continues to lead at the restart on lap 14. Things get bunched up on lap 16 when Jeff Burton squeezes in between Sam Ard and Richie Evans, collecting Jack Ingram as well. The next restart comes on lap 22. On lap 35, Steve Grissom gets loose and goes into the wall as Patty Moyes, Jeff Burton, and Bobby Hamilton are involved as well. The race then restarts with 20 laps to go. Then on lap 52, Bobby Hamilton spins and hits the wall to bring out a late caution. We get a late restart with 3 laps to go, and there was no stopping Rick Mast as he will go on to get his second win of 1989 at Lanier. Rick Mast is your winner. Jimmy Spencer finished second. In third was Chuck Bound, Ronald Cooper fourth, L.D. Ottinger in fifth, sixth was Richie Evans, seventh Rob Moroso, Joe Thurman in eighth, Kenny Burke's ninth, and Tommy Ellis finishes in 10th. After this race, Grant Adcox holds a 25-point lead over Rob Moroso. Race number 10 of the 1989 season takes us to the Nashville Fairgrounds for the Grainger Select 200. This race will have 150 laps, 27 cars will be in this one. Ronald Cooper gets the pole and Danny Marshall will start alongside him as we go racing in the Music City. Cooper led for the first 25 laps until Rob Moroso would take the lead by lap 26. By lap 31, Tommy Houston would have the lead, with Ronald Cooper getting back up to second. Fast forward to lap 65, Rob Moroso is back out in front, but Houston is still there. Moroso would pit a lap later for green flag pit stops. Later on lap 108, Tommy Houston gets around Rob Moroso for the lead. On lap 134, Houston would come down for the final round of green flag pit stops. As he comes to his pit stall, he makes contact with L.D. Ottinger. This wouldn't affect him too much, however, as he is able to continue to lead after everything cycled through. Cooper and Moroso were not able to catch up, as Tommy Houston will go on to get his first win of 1989 at Nashville. This race had 12 lead changes among 5 different drivers. Tommy Houston's your winner, Ronald Cooper second, Rob Moroso third, Tommy Ellis 4th, Danny Marshall 5th, Kenny Wallace 6th, Jack Ingram 7th, Sam Ard 8th, Rick Mast 9th, and Jimmy Spencer in 10th. We have a change in the points lead. Rob Moroso now leads 27 points over Grant Adcox. The 11th race of the season brings us to Charlotte, North Carolina for the Champion 300. We got a big field with 42 cars, and we'll have 120 laps in this race as it marks the return of Tim Richmond, who will drive the number 17 today for Rick Hendrick. Grant Adcox is on the pole with Jack Ingram starting second as we go racing in Charlotte. Grant Adcox would lead the opening laps, but Ronald Cooper would take the lead by lap 10. Then by lap 20, Adcox is back out in front as there's a 4-car pack battling for the lead. Cooper comes fighting back on lap 23 as he and Adcox are the ones to beat so far. But on lap 54, trouble up front as Tommy Houston gets into Grant Adcox, sending them both into Jack Ingram, and they all wreck. I'm sure Grant Adcox is not pleased with that. We restart on lap 59. Kenny Wallace is out in front, Ronald Cooper is second, and Sam Art is third. Kenny Wallace would lead all the way until pitting with 7 to go, as many have to make stops for fuel. And with 5 laps to go, Sam Art is now leading, but Kenny Wallace is there trying to take the lead back. Then with 4 laps to go, Wallace is to Art's inside, and he takes the lead. With 3 to go, Wallace tries to clear traffic, but the lap car of Steve Grissom slams the door on him. Kenny Wallace isn't too pleased with Grissom, but he and Sam Art go by him with just 2 to go. Rick Mast got around Art for second, and then it will be Kenny Wallace that will go on to get his second win of 1989 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This race had 13 lead changes among 8 different leaders. Kenny Wallace is your winner, Rick Mast second, Sam Art third, Ronald Cooper in fourth, Ellie Ottinger fifth, Tim Richmond in sixth, very good run in his return, Tommy Ellison seventh, Chuck Bound eighth, Dale Jarrett ninth, and Jeff Bodine in 10th. Looking at the standings, Rob Moroso still holds the lead, but Kenny Wallace has jumped up to second, just 25 points out. We next head to Dover for the Budweiser 200. This race will have 150 laps with 38 cars. Patty Moyes earns her first ever pole with Rob Moroso starting in second as we go racing at Dover. It didn't take too long though for there to be trouble when on lap 5 Steve Grissom got into Dave Resendez and they head into the wall to bring out a caution. Moyes got shuffled on early pit stops and was sent back to 22nd. Meanwhile, Kenny Wallace will have the lead at the restart on lap 9. Lap 15, a similar incident occurs, this time between Ellie Ottinger and Curtis Markham. Ronald Cooper now has the restart on lap 20. Kenny Wallace, however, would take the lead back on lap 25. Lap 31, it's time for the Dover halfpipe as Billy Standridge goes for a wild ride with his car literally on top of Jack Ingram's. Standridge would be able to get out of his car under his own power and walk away. Later on, green flag pit stops took place around lap 76, and while exiting pit road, contact was made between Kenny Wallace and Ronald Cooper, but they keep going. Tommy Houston would have the lead after pit stops. On lap 84, Richie Evans drives into Darrell Waltrip as they both wreck, then Tommy Ellis and Joe Thurman would be collected as well. Sam Art's car stalls, and Kenny Wallace has nowhere to go, and he, among others, would get taken out. Things were calm the rest of the way, and Tommy Houston would go on to win at Dover. This race had 10 lead changes among 7 different leaders. Houston is your winner. Grant Adcox finished in second, Patty Moyes third, Sam Ard fourth, Rick Mast fifth, sixth was Jimmy Spencer, Elton Sawyer in seventh, Jeff Burton eighth, Michael Waltrip ninth, and Bobby Hamilton rounds out the top 10. Race number 13 takes us to the dirt at the Illinois State Fairgrounds for the Busch Dirt Classic. 33 cars for 35 laps. Some dirt ringers making a start in today's race are Jeff Swindell, Sammy Swindell, Rich Bogler, and Jack Hodenschild from the World of Outlaws. He will drive for Marshall Family Racing, and special thanks to Jetman999 for painting this one. Sammy Swindell gets the surprise pole with Kenny Wallace starting second as we go dirt racing in Illinois. Sammy Swindell leads the opening laps, but then is held up by a lap car of Dave Resendez. And this has Kenny Wallace and Ronald Cooper knocking on his door by lap 6. However, the 1984 Daytona Busch winner Sammy Swindell is able to get around. Things went pretty calm, and with 6 laps to go, heartbreak for Ronald Cooper as his car loses power after running in third. This would bring out the caution, and this will create a 1-lap dash to the finish as Swindell leads to the restart. It's going to be a good day for the Dirt Ringers as Sammy Swindell will go on to win in the Busch Series once more at the Illinois State Fairgrounds. Kenny Wallace finishes in 2nd, Rob Moroso 3rd, Sam Ard 4th, Rick Mast 5th, Jeff Swindell 6th, Rich Vogler 7th, Jack Ingram 8th, Brad Adcox 9th, and Patty Moyes rounds out the top 10. Tommy Houston now has the points lead over Rob Moroso by just 5 points. Sam Ard is back by 13 and Kenny Wallace by 26. The Busch Series returns for a 3rd straight year to the Indiana Speedway for the Menards 200. 75 laps in this race with 33 cars. Rob Moroso is on the pole with Ronald Cooper starting in 2nd as we go racing in Indiana. Cooper took off like a rocket as Moroso didn't get going at all. On lap 16, Jeff Burton drove into Chuck Bound, sending them both into the wall as Chuck Bound is sent on his roof and gets hit by Dave Resendez. Chuck Bound would be okay after this incident. This race resumes on lap 29 with Phil Parsons now out in front, but it wouldn't last long as Ronald Cooper retakes the lead. Lap 39, Robert Presley slows down and gets ran into by Rick Mast, turning the 59 car for a caution. Cooper continues to lead at the restart on lap 45. With 7 laps to go, Bobby Hamilton gets turned by Kenny Wallace, also collecting Jeff Burton, who got a bit of damage. The caution would come out again. After a late restart, there was no stopping Ronald Cooper as he will go on to get his first career Busch Series win at Indiana Speedway. Ronald Cooper is your winner. Jimmy Spencer is 2nd, Grant Adcox in 3rd, Danny Marshall in 4th, both Marshall cars finishing in the top 5. And you got Rob Moroso 5th, Billy Standridge 6th, Tommy Ellis 7th, Tommy Houston 8th, Steve Grissom 9th, and Eldie Ottinger in 10th. Rob Moroso would take the points lead back after this one. Continuing on with the Hoosier Sweep, on race 15, we're at the Indianapolis Raceway Park for the Kroger 200. 40 cars will participate in this race for 150 laps. Chuck Bound is on the pole with Dale Earnhardt starting 2nd as we go racing in IRP. Dale Earnhardt was able to quickly get by Chuck Bound and take the lead, but after a debris caution, some leaders did pit that included Earnhardt. Chuck Bound would take the lead back at the restart on lap 17. Lap 63, car number 63 of Chuck Bound comes down pit road as green flag pit stops take place. The final caution came out with 6 to go as Chuck Bound had been dominating all night. We get a final go at a 1-lap dash to the finish, but Chuck Bound will run away with it, and he will be next to get his first career win at IRP. So far, the Hoosier Sweep has been hosting first-time winners this year. Chuck Bound is your winner, Ronald Cooper, the Indiana winner, in 2nd, Brandon Baker 3rd, Tommy Houston 4th, Rick Mast 5th, Randy LaJoy in 6th, Richie Evans 7th, Jimmy Spencer 8th, Tommy Ellis 9th, and Jack Ingram rounds out the top 10. And with that, the point standings now go back to Tommy Houston. The final race we'll cover is race number 16 for this part, as we head to Salem Speedway for the Kentuckiana Ford 200. This race will have 60 laps and 32 cars have entered. Chuck Bound is on the pole with Brandon Baker starting 2nd as we go racing in Salem. While the field shuffled around a bit, Chuck Bound was the leader all throughout, and he'll go on to get his 2nd in a row and his 2nd career Busch Series win at Salem. In a very quiet race, Chuck Bound is your winner. Robert Presley finishes in 2nd, Dana Patton in 3rd, Richie Evans 4th, Rick Mast 5th, Very interesting top 10. Tommy Ellis is 6th, Elton Sawyer 7th, Bobby Hamilton 8th, Eldie Ottinger 9th, and Grant Adcox in 10th. Tommy Houston, halfway through the season, will have the points lead with Rob Moroso in 2nd. He's back by 68 points. Kenny Wallace back by 78 points in 3rd. Grant Adcox back by 120, and Sam Ard back by 154. We're already halfway through the 1989 Busch Series season. So far, it's been the likes of Tommy Houston, Rob Moroso, Kenny Wallace, and Grant Adcox. Will we see some new names pop up in the championship picture? Will we see some more surprises as we head into the second half of the season? Well, I guess only time will tell. Thank you guys so much for tuning in once again to Sunday Night Lights. I'm Sonic Rules 831, and I will see you in the next video.